The iPhone 15 is just around the corner and it will come with a lot of changes. Something else that's just around the corner is that big thing that we're announcing very soon. The third teaser just came out, which you can check out on Instagram. And there are 5 teasers in total, so just 2 more left until everything will be revealed. Comment down below if you have any idea of what our big announcement is, and if you're right, you might win a special prize. So here are not 5, not 10, not 20, but 21 of the biggest iPhone 15 changes to expect. Just like how you can expect some great value headphones from our sponsor, Soundcore. The Soundcore Space Ones are a brilliant offering with amazing adaptive ANC, a comfortable fit, alongside high-res audio with LDAC support. Check them out by using the link below as well as later in the video. So the first thing to expect is a new frame, something that hasn't changed at all since the iPhone 12. The frame would still be flat, but it would round up towards the top, making it far more comfortable to hold in the hand without it necessarily affecting your grip. And on the Pro models, this frame would be made out of titanium rather than stainless steel, which will also make it more durable as well as lighter, which was one of the main complaints of the Pro Max model before. This titanium frame is also said to be brushed, so fingerprints won't be that big of an issue anymore. On this new frame, we are said to be getting some redesigned volume buttons that are thicker and a bit easier to press. And also a brand new action button on the Pro models only that would replace the mute switch. Similar to the action button on the Apple Watch Ultra, you'd be able to assign certain apps to it, as well as actions such as the torch, the camera, screen recording, focus modes, silent mode, and so on. Then the dynamic island is said to be coming to the standard iPhone 15 models too, something that was previously exclusive to the Pro models. This means that more and more third-party apps would start making use of the dynamic island. We're also getting some new processors, plural, as once again, the non-Pro models would be using last year's Apple A16 chip, with the 15 Pro and 15 Pro Max getting the A17. The A17 is rumored to be getting 1 extra GPU core, as well as a pretty major clock speed bump from 3.46 GHz to 3.7. But the main highlight of it would be the switch from 5 nanometers down to 3, which would not only further improve its performance, but also make the Apple A17 chip more power efficient. Which brings us to the 5th change, significant battery life improvements, given not just by the switch to 3 nanometers, but also by the big increases in battery sizes. With the iPhone 15 getting an 18% bump in battery capacity, the 15 Plus getting a 13% bump, 14% for the 15 Pro, and 12% for the 15 Pro Max. Keep in mind that despite the 15 Plus having the largest battery, the Pro Max would still likely last longer thanks to that 3nm chip and that dynamic refresh rate display. There have also been some rumors that Apple would be bumping the RAM to 8GB from 6 on the Pro models. However, there have also been some contradictory reports here, so this isn't quite clear yet. I am leaning more towards the 8GB rumors, as Apple has had 6GB of RAM ever since the iPhone 12 Pro. And RAM management just hasn't been that great on recent iPhone models, so more RAM is definitely needed. Just like more storage is also needed, and luckily that's exactly what we're getting, with the base models of the Pro models now set to start from 256GB as opposed to 128, and go all the way up to 2TB, whereas before the upper limit was 1TB. But really, one of the biggest changes that the iPhone 15 will come with will be the switch from Lightning to USB Type-C. Finally. Of course, there will be one big caveat here, which is that the iPhone 15s will be limited to USB 2.0 speeds. But hey, at least on the bright side, we do get colors. Colors that would match the color of your iPhone. And then apparently these new cables would also be braided, so they will be more durable as well as longer, 1.5 meters as opposed to 1. Now, if you do have a Pro model, then the port is said to be faster. Rumors are pointing towards Thunderbolt 4 speeds of 40 gigabits per second as opposed to 480 megabits per second on the standard 15 models. So this means that we'll be able to transfer ProRes and ProRAW files much faster, which has been a major issue in the past. However, that cable that will come inside the box of the 15 Pros will still have USB 2.0 speeds. So if you want Thunderbolt speeds, you'll need to buy a separate cable that Apple apparently will be selling. And yeah, it won't be cheap. Speaking of ports and cables, the charging speed is also said to be improved from the current max of 20 watts officially and 27 watts unofficially to about 35 watts. I do have a feeling that this will just be on the Pro models, but we'll have to wait and see. And we're also said to be getting faster wireless charging too, with Apple now supporting the new Qi2 or Qi2 standard. meaning that we will be able to get 15 watts of fast charging no matter what wireless charger we use. Currently, 15 watts is restricted to MagSafe charging, with any other wireless charger being limited to 7.5 watts at most. Okay, so now let's talk about the cameras. Right after I show you more on the best value headphones from our sponsor, Soundcore. So as I mentioned earlier, the Soundcore Space 1s are an excellent set of headphones, rivaling the lines of Sony and Bose, but for a fraction of their price. Their noise cancelling is superb, with an upgraded ANC structure for especially strong reduction of mid to high frequencies. And this noise cancellation also adapts, analyzing external sounds to provide optimal performance wherever you find yourself. Plus, their ability to reduce talking is so impressive that when you're playing music, outside voices are completely cancelled out. They're also a great fit with a full seal over the ears, and they are lighter than the competition. This is likely thanks to their 8-degree floating axis design, which helps them fit to any head shape perfectly. And most importantly, their 40mm dynamic drivers offer high-res audio with LDAC support for more immersive Bluetooth listening. So if you want great value headphones, definitely check them out by using the link below. And now, back to the video. So the iPhone 15 and the 15 Plus are set to be getting the same 48 megapixel sensor that we got with the iPhone 14 Pro and Pro Max last year. And that's just awesome. This sensor was incredible with lots of depth of field, very good low light performance, and just a lot of sharpness overall. But if you're thinking that you're gonna get the same camera performance as the iPhone 14 Pro, you're wrong. ProRes and ProRAW will likely be disabled, meaning that you won't be able to take 48 megapixel photos, but rather everything will be binned to 12 megapixels, unless of course you use a third-party app like Halide. On the bright side, that 2x sensor crop option from the Pro models will likely be available. So for the first time since the Pro models came out, we'll have optical zoom on the non-Pro iPhones. So what about the Pro models then? Well, in terms of the 15 Pro, it doesn't seem like we would be getting any major camera upgrades. There is a new Sony sensor that's rumored, a sensor that is quite massive, almost 1 inch in size, but that is said to be exclusive to the 15 Pro Max. 1-inch sensors are what you would find in compact digital cameras, as well as in some other flagship phones like the Xiaomi 13 Ultra, the Oppo Find X6 Pro, and more. These phones have an incredible depth of field and some outstanding low light performance. We could see something similar from the 15 Pro Max too this year. But really, the highlight feature of the camera would be that periscope zoom module, also exclusive to the 15 Pro Max. Just like we've seen on phones from Samsung, Google, Xiaomi, and many others, this new periscope module would allow us to get much greater zoom levels above 3x optically. Apple is rumored to be using either a 5x or a 6x module here, which on paper might seem inferior to Samsung's 10x. However, do remember that Google, for example, is also using a 5x module like Apple's rumored, but in combination with a high-resolution 48 megapixel sensor as opposed to Samsung's 10 megapixel sensor. And the results are very close to Samsung's results. So at the end of the day, the quality of Apple's zoom would purely depend on how high-resolution sensor they actually pair with that 5 to 6x optical zoom lens. But I would honestly be surprised if Apple's periscope module doesn't end up at least matching Samsung's, considering how late Apple is. So does this mean that the 15 Pro is literally getting no camera change at all? Well, not quite. It is said to be getting a new LiDAR sensor that would be more power efficient and likely offer a larger range of detection too. Essentially, this should help with autofocusing in dark environments at greater distances. But yeah, if you're looking for some great camera upgrades this year, the 15 Pro Max and not the 15 Pro is the one to get. Speaking of the 15 Pro Max, Apple has tweaked the form factor and made it shorter and narrower to the point where it feels significantly more comfortable in the hand, which was one of the main complaints with the Pro Max models before. The 15 Pro also gets a bit shorter and a bit narrower, and it too feels better in the hand than before, thanks to that rounded frame too. Now, the reason why the Pro models are both narrower is thanks to the bezels, which are now considerably thinner. In fact, the bezels on the Pro models are said to be the thinnest bezels on any other smartphone right now. Yeah, I'm definitely a big fan of that. A couple of more changes. Wi-Fi 6E is set to be included with up to double the speeds as long as you have a compatible Wi-Fi 6E router. There are also a number of new color options expected, with the non-Pro models getting an orange, the blue is set to become a bit more vibrant, and the purple and the product red are set to be removed. Whereas with the Pro models, we are getting a new dark blue color, very similar to the iPhone 12 Pro's Pacific Blue, and also a new gray color that we've never seen on an iPhone before. I do quite like this new color, however, I do think I'm still leaning more towards the new blue or, the classic space gray. And the last big change that's rumored is a higher price for the Pro models, bringing the 15 Pro to $1099 from $999, and the 15 Pro Max to $1299 from $1199. Of course, you do also get more storage, but if you simply just wanted to buy the base model, then you would have to pay $100 more now, and possibly even more than that outside the US. Of course, that these 21 changes were simply the biggest. There are way more changes than just these. We will have some more Apple event related videos before the event of next week. And yeah, feel free to subscribe for those videos and more updates on the big thing that we're announcing very, very soon. I'm Daniel, this is ZONEofTECH, and I'll see you guys in the next one. ZONEofTECH, signing out. Cheers.